Have you ever heard whispers of a city lost beneath the waves? A city so magnificent that poets claimed it was kissed by the sun and cradled by the moon. This isn't the story of Atlantis. This is the tale of Noorabad, the city of lights, a legend whispered on the shores of the Indian Ocean for generations. Imagine a place where every dawn painted the walls in liquid gold, and every street corner was filled with the scent of jasmine and sandalwood. Picture a city where melodies drifted from every balcony, weaving a tapestry of sound that enchanted all who heard it. This was Noorabad, a jewel of the ancient world, a paradise on earth. Its people were known for their artistry, their wisdom, and their deep connection to the land and the sea that nourished them. The city stood proud, its golden walls a testament to its prosperity. It was a bustling hub of trade, where ships from distant lands brought exotic goods and merchants shared stories from across the known world. The markets of Noorabad were legendary, overflowing with vibrant silks, glittering gems, and spices that could make your senses dance. The architecture itself was a marvel, with towers that seemed to pierce the clouds and domes that shimmered like pearls under the midday sun. At the heart of this splendor was the royal palace, a structure so grand it was said to have been built by jinn. Within its walls lived King Azar, a ruler whose name was once synonymous with greatness. In his youth, he was celebrated for his courage and his vision. He expanded Noorabad's influence, his fleets ruled the trade routes, and his armies were undefeated. The city flourished under his reign, reaching heights of wealth and power never before seen. The people loved their king, and his name was sung in every household. But as the years passed and his power grew, a shadow began to creep into King Azar's heart. This shadow was pride. He started to see himself not as a guardian of his people, but as a master of the world. He looked at his golden city, his mighty navy, and his overflowing treasuries, and he believed that he was invincible. He began to believe he was more than a man. He started to believe he was a god. His advisors, wise old men who had served his father, tried to caution him. They would say, "Your Majesty, humility is the greatest crown a king can wear. Remember that we are all subject to the whims of nature and the will of the heavens." But King Azar would laugh, dismissing their words as the ramblings of old fools. "Fools," he would roar. "Look around you, I built this. This power is mine. The heavens, the earth, the sea, they all bow to my will." This arrogance festered, growing like a poison. He would stand on the highest tower of his palace, gazing out at the vast shimmering expanse of the Indian Ocean. He saw the sea not as a life-giving force, a source of his city's wealth, but as a rival, a wild, untamable entity that did not yet bend to his command. This obsession began to consume him, and then came the night that sealed Noorabad's fate. It was a calm, beautiful evening. A grand festival was being held in the city, celebrating yet another of the king's victories. The sky was clear, dotted with 1,000,000 stars, and the moon cast a silver path across the gentle waves. Amidst the feasting and music, King Azar, his eyes glinting with wine and hubris, stood before his court on the grand sea-facing balcony. He raised his goblet to the sky, not in thanks but in defiance. His voice, amplified by the unnatural silence that had suddenly fallen, boomed across the water. He pointed a finger at the horizon and shouted, "Hear me, you endless water. They say you are a god, a power unto yourself. But I am Azar. This land, this golden city belongs to me. The sea shall never step here. I forbid it. You will bow to me just as all mortals do." A collective gasp went through the crowd. To challenge the sea, which the people of Noorabad had revered for centuries, was unthinkable. It was blasphemy. They looked at their king, and for the first time they saw not a great ruler, but a madman. As if in answer to his challenge, a strange chill filled the air. The moon vanished behind a curtain of clouds that seemed to materialize from nowhere. The wind, once a gentle breeze, began to shriek like a banshee. The people on the balcony scrambled back in fear, their faces pale. But the king stood his ground, a crazed smile on his face, as if he welcomed the confrontation. The sea began to churn. The gentle waves of moments before turned into monstrous, roaring mountains of water. They crashed against the city's sea walls, the sound like the roar of a wounded beast. Thunder cracked open the sky, and lightning illuminated a terrifying scene. The ocean was rising, swelling with a fury that defied all logic. Panic erupted in the city of lights. People ran screaming through the streets, trying to escape the wrath they knew was coming. But there was nowhere to go. The pride on his face melted into terror, then despair. The last thing he saw was a colossal wave, a liquid mountain with a foaming crest rising up to swallow him and his palace whole. When the morning sun rose, it revealed nothing but an empty, placid sea. Noorabad was gone. The golden walls, the fragrant streets, the singing people, all vanished without a trace. It was as if the city had only ever been a dream. The ocean had reclaimed its own, leaving behind only a story, a cautionary tale passed down from one generation to the next, a warning against the dangers of pride. For centuries, Noorabad was just that, a legend, a story to tell children about why one must respect the power of nature. Fishermen would avoid the area, claiming they could still hear faint melodies and sorrowful whispers rising from the depths on quiet nights. They called it the waters of sorrow. But then, in our modern age, with technology that allows us to explore the deepest, darkest corners of the ocean, the legend took an incredible turn. A team of marine archaeologists mapping the seabed in the Indian Ocean detected a strange anomaly. A large man-made structure buried under centuries of sand and silt. Intrigued, they sent down deep-sea submersibles. The cameras pierced through the murky depths, the lights cutting through a world of eternal twilight. And then they saw it. Rising from the seabed, encrusted with coral and guarded by the silent creatures of the deep, was a magnificent archway. It was a gate, made of a metal that still shimmered with a faint golden hue, even after all this time. The sub's robotic arm carefully brushed away layers of sediment from the top of the gate. And as the silt cleared, the world held its breath. There, engraved in a graceful, ancient script that no one had seen for millennia, were words. The archaeologists, their hearts pounding, translated the inscription. It was a message from a lost world, a final, haunting echo from the City of Lights. Upon the golden gate, buried deep beneath the waves that had claimed it, were the words, "The earth provides the stone and man builds the wall, but the ocean holds the key." A final, humbling lesson from the magnificent, tragic city of Noorabad. A reminder that no matter how high we build our walls, we are forever part of a world far greater and more powerful than ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to the bottom of the sea. If you love stories of lost civilizations and ancient mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you do not miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments what you think about the fate of Noorabad. Until next time, keep exploring.